AITA for leaving my husband in the grocery store because he started acting like a toddler. We all go through phases and pick up annoying habits, and sometimes we just need our loved ones to gently tell us if we've picked up a particularly egregious habit. Sometime in the last year, my husband has picked up a habit where he talks like a baby. At first it was funny, but passed into embarrassing, cringeworthy behavior quickly. Examples: doggo, pupper, woofer, subwoofer, pibble, hootie boy, peepo, burb, meow meow, sammy, sandwiches, samawemi, chicky nuggies, chicky tendies, adding a toddleresque lisp to words, and the ones that really get gross are childish euphemisms for genitalia or sex. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is not endearing or sexy to have my husband talk about my boobies and his whiner and weenie, and wee hoo-has and bajingos. Nostalgia for scrubs be damned. We have not had sex for 6 months because he cannot stop talking about my boobies, and it makes me sick. Just before the pandemic hit, we were out at a restaurant with some friends. He actually ordered a chicky Sammy, said that exact phrase. Chicky, Sammy. Look, it's totally fine that he ordered the chicken sandwich. That's not the issue. Our friends noticed the baby talk, because he insisted on continuing the joke and even started talking with this god-awful toddler accent. After that, I just couldn't stomach the idea of going out with him to adult places. I'd go out to the brewery with friends, but God forbid he join me and say me want another beer, or something. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why he's doing this. I finally hit my limit when we were grocery shopping and everything seemed normal and fine until he gasped like a kid, ran to the ice cream section and jumped up and down yelling, "Ice seaweem, ice seaweem. I want CHOCWIT. I was mortified. People were staring at him and me. He kept going and kept saying, "Can we get popsicles?" And I just said, either talk to me like an adult or I'm leaving. He started saying, "Oh, you must be fun at parties and lighten up, will you?" and shit like that. I just said fuck it, and left the store, leaving him to walk home because I couldn't even look at him. Since then, things have been very tense, and he keeps telling me that he wants an apology for embarrassing him by leaving him in the store. I told him that people don't get to demand apologies. If someone wants to apologize, it's up to them, and I am absolutely not going to apologize for saving myself the embarrassment of a 35-year-old man with a mortgage and retirement account asking for CHOCWITICWEAM. He got his fucking mom involved, no joke. She keeps telling me it's just a phase and that he's probably bored and I should be happy this is his midlife crisis, rather than him fucking 19-year-olds at the local bar. I'm going crazy. AITA. Do I really just need to let my husband continuously embarrass me like this? Edit. Sorry, there was only so much space. I have talked to him multiple times, especially about the sexual comments. I've made it extremely, abundantly clear that him using terms like boobies and wee are absolutely repulsive to me. Among other things he says. Info. Does he have a job? Yes, and he acts completely normal as far as I know. He worked from home for a while during lockdown, and I never heard him talk like this to anyone he worked with. Does he do it with friends? Sometimes, and it's generally meant to annoy them or gross them out, but he stops. He has friends where they think it's cute to embarrass each other. Is this a kink, fetish? If so, I'm absolutely done. Edited because it was offensive. Has he seen a doctor? No, but I've asked him if he needed to talk to someone because he was acting strange, and he accused me of being stuck up and judgmental. Given that he doesn't act like this with his coworkers or his family and only jokes around with his friends, I'm willing to bet that this is an indication that he's trying to force this fetish on me non-consensually or trying to get me to leave. Is it a tumor? I don't know. Like I said above, I asked him if he needed to see someone. I can't force him even if I want to. Just find out if there's any way we can salvage this, but after this post closes I will try to get him to. Maybe his sister can encourage him, even though he acts completely normal around them. Does he have childhood trauma? As far as I know, and I'm relatively close to his family and would likely know, the most traumatic thing he had happened was a minor car accident when he was around 13 years old. No injuries, no death, etc. He hasn't been in a car accident in the past 2 years or anything like that, and I haven't, and AFAIK no one else in his family has been, etc. I want to send you a chat instead of my comment getting lost. Please don't. I've had a number of people repost this to make fun of me because I didn't respond the way they wanted, etc. Just comment. I can at least to respond to those and help others get an idea of what's going on. Story 2. AITA. I almost died at work today and my wife is angry I didn't ask about her day when I got home. AITA. I had an incident where I lost control of an elevated work platform EWP on dangerous terrain whilst working today. The EWP slid down the hill, did a 180-degree turn through a row of trees whilst I was elevated at approximately 5 meters. It was harrowing and I was left shocked as it happened very quickly and felt like I was going to tip the machine. On return home I had a shot one of vodka to steady my nerves and told my wife. She was cooking dinner and said some conciliatory things when I told her about the incident, and asked if I was going to keep working this job. She then asked me to move out of the kitchen while she cooked. I got visibly upset and then she said, well, you haven't asked me about my day. I had to look after our daughter all day. We're in lockdown for COVID and not allowed to leave the house ATM. She then told me to look after our daughter who was having a tantrum. She since doubled down on her position and said she had exciting news that she now wasn't going to tell me. I said that that was her decision. I'm angry that it doesn't seem like she cares that I almost died, and I don't think me being impolite and not asking her about her day is significant in this context. AITA. Story 3. AITA for not wanting to have my ex's stepdaughter some weekends. I 32 female and 11-year-old daughter with my ex. We divorced 2 years ago because he cheated. He is now with the other woman and is married to her. She has a daughter who will be 11 soon. Ex's MIL is sick and his wife has been going to stay some weekends to take care of her. Ex works weekends nights, usually, and he asked me if I would take his stepdaughter those weekends his wife is gone. He framed it as being more time for the girls to bond. I said no. He called it unfair because I gave it no consideration. I told him I didn't need to consider it and that my answer was no. He said our daughter might say she wants it if I ask her, and that they would throw me some cash for it. Eventually, after I came down hard on my no, he said the reason he wants me to do it is our daughter has chosen not to have a close relationship with his stepdaughter, and he thinks my interacting with her and welcoming her into my home would cultivate our daughter's willingness. I asked him was she mean or rude to the girl. He said no reluctantly, and I told him that was all I was willing to interfere in, and I am not responsible for cultivating our daughter's relationship with his stepdaughter. I told him the discussion was over. He and his wife are pissed about my refusal and say I would be helping them out while they're in need. AITA. Story 4. AITA for telling my dad the reason I decided to stay with my mom. I 15 female at the start of lockdown to use that as an excuse to stay with my mom and change custody from every other week with each parent to lively totally with her. My dad wasn't happy with me at the time but let it go until things got better, and then he was upset I didn't want to go to his house, and when he threatened to take it to court I told him I would tell the judge this is what I want. He asked me why several times and I would refuse to tell him, until a month ago when I just said screw it and told him. I said I liked having my own room there and hated sharing with 2 other people at his house, and his wife always annoyed me by expecting me to take on bigger responsibilities than she expected of her daughter. I told him I preferred being an only child in the home and not dealing with the chaos of a blended family. He asked me why I never told him, but I did. He just didn't listen. He said it made sense for his wife to ask me to cook one family meal a week when I cook and her daughter doesn't. But that shit is frustrating and it made cooking a chore versus something fun, which I know it can be IRL, but I always enjoyed it before the expectation was put on me. My dad was pissed after I told him. He said I was basically rejecting my family. AITA.